Today we are going to see with SQL. Completely we are going to see with the database. Okay. Either they will be naming as SQL or SQL. The pronunciation may vary depending upon the person. It's up to us to take the pronunciation. Okay. And here what you're going to see about, what is the idea about SQL, guys, according to you people? What is SQL in the sense? Have you came across this term SQL? You might have came across SQL, Oracle, all those things. Hey, what is that? No. Okay. You didn't came across it. Okay, fine. Everyone, you didn't hear about SQL? This is the first time you're hearing. Okay, leave it. Here, this is nothing but my first time. Okay, okay. This is nothing but a database. We will say database. So what is database? That is, database is not a new term. This is using from early days. You are using database. If at all you want to store some data, we'll be using databases. On early days, they started writing database for like contact numbers, everything. What they did, they started using in a notes, right? They used to make a use of note of it. Whenever you want some mobile number in the early days, they used to search for a number and they used to dial the number, right? So nowadays what happened, everything has been stored in some way, some location has been stored, and it has been accessed electronically. So right now what you're going to see is we are storing some data. You are having Gmail accounts is there. So you're having bank account, all those things are there, right? So we are just informations are stored, and whenever we are requesting for the information or whatever we are requesting for has been provided. So how, where this information has been stored? So if we go for a bank where a customer name, all the account information, transaction, everything has been stored. The same way, the simple example, our Gmail account. So you're having a history of mails. So all the data should be stored somewhere, right? The storing of data is in the database. And speaking about this database can be classified into two types. Those are relational databases and non-relational database. Relational database and non-relational database, these are the two type of databases available, guys. So whenever we are going to speak about relational databases, the data are stored in relational databases in a table format. Relation means table, so in table format will be stored. A simple example is you can take MySQL, Oracle, okay, Sybase, lot of things are there. Sybase, IBM DB2. Okay, lot of databases are there. So these follows relational database model. So whenever we say relational database, the data are stored in a tabular format in the database. Okay, database is just a memory. Okay, and here, so when we speak about this particular table format, yes, Pavan, MongoDB is there. Yes, good. MongoDB, all those things comes under non-relational databases. Okay, it comes under non-relational. It comes in a non-relational where data is not stored in a tabular format. It will be stored like a hierarchical structure format. Okay, as we see three, it will be stored in a structure format. And mostly in case of MongoDB, they'll be using JSON. JSON as a language for implementing MongoDB statement. Here, we'll be using SQL commands. We'll be using SQL commands for accessing the relational database. So right now it is we started moving to non-relational database, but from the early days they were using only relational database. So where apart from this MongoDB, or majority of the things will comes under only relational database. Early days they are storing table information only in a tabular format, and they are returning in the table format. And right now this MongoDB is keep on booming where there is no particular structure at all. You can able to store the data in whatever format you want. And here this particular JSON commands looks like the dictionary. We are using dictionary like key value pass. It looks like a dictionary. So right now what we are going to deal with it. We people are going to deal with how to, what are the SQL commands available and how to implement SQL commands by using MySQL. This is what you're going to see. So if you're going to use SQL commands, I need some environment to work with it, right? So you're going to make use of MySQL and you're going to work and see with SQL commands. Okay, so this SQL commands is common for all these databases, guys. So I'm saying about MySQL, Oracle, all those things. MySQL, MySQL is there, MS SQL is there, Microsoft product MS SQL is there, Oracle is there. All those persons are going to use the same SQL commands. So whenever I say SQL commands, SQL is a language. It's similar to one of a language. Normally we'll be using programming language, right? C, C++, Java, Python. So we are using these language as a backend code, isn't it? Backend code or front end code? What is the use of these languages? Why do you use these language, ma'am? PHP, PHP, C, C++, Java, .NET, all those things. Okay, what is the front end tool they are using? Are you aware of this term front end, back end? Good. So for front end, for whatever the application you are seeing it, right? Good, good. Whatever the application you are seeing it, you'll have some design, right? Checkbox will be there. Your input box will be there. All those things. Yes, good, Pavan. So input boxes, all those things will be there, right? So all those things comes under your front end. Front end. So when I say front end, you will have this design part where checkbox. For example, we'll take our Gmail. You'll access for username, password, and you'll click onto the submit button. All those things design comes under your front end. So all those front end codes has been done by HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, all those things comes under front end. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Just a minute. Okay, so speaking about the backend, so once you click onto the submit button, some process is happening, right? The functionality has been written as the backend of the particular button image. So that is nothing but by using any one of a programming language. So depending upon the requirement, they used to use either Java or Python or PHP, whatever they want, they'll be using it according to the requirement. This is all about your backend. So any application, whatever the application is there, majority of our purpose, we are going to use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for designing your front end, the images or some banners running in your website. All those things is done by using this design tool only. And backend will be using this particular programming language. And we'll have databases. So once you click onto the submit button, what happens? This data has to be saved, right? So we'll be having databases. This database might be of any one of the database. So if at all you are using this database which follows SQL command, they use SQL as a language for implementing this database. Got it? SQL is a language. So abbreviation of it is structured query language. So this is a language which is used for accessing your database. Structure query language. This is a language which is used for implementing your databases. So it might be of any databases. So SQL is not a database. Many people used to confuse it. SQL, MySQL, MS SQL. SQL is a language and MySQL, MS SQL, Oracle, all those things are databases. Clear? This SQL is a language which is used for communicating with the database. Some language has to be known for it, right? So if we people want to communicate with the device, we are using English as a universal language. The same way for databases which follows RDMS, they are using SQL commands as a common language. Got it? Guys, are you people with clear with what is SQL commands? Shall I proceed further? Yes, right, good. Now, speaking about SQL commands. So speaking about SQL commands, it has been classified into various type. We'll see what are those. So as I told you that this is a common language which you're going to use it, right? These has been classified into based on the purpose of it. They are classified into DDL, which is nothing but data definition language. Definition is too lengthy. Okay. Language. Let me give a short form. We can have a note of it. Okay, whenever this has been classified into data definition language, if at all you want to define something, I can go ahead with this data definition language. And next is data manipulation language. If at all you want to do some manipulation, I'll be using DML commands. Okay, which is data manipulation language. And next part is we are going to see data query language, DQL. Okay, if you want some information, I can use data query language. So let me write this center keyword alone. Others we can print it. Data query language, data manipulation language, data definition language. And next is DCL, data control language. So data control language in the sense we are going to control the access of this particular databases. Who should access it? Who should not access it? The access permission is given by using data control language. And next is at the last we'll be having TCL commands, transaction control language. So this is how this particular SQL commands has been classified. Clear. Now I let you know what are the further classification of this. This is a major classification of this ma. So overall major when you're seeing with this, it is being classified into different types. So if we people are aware about these commands, then majority of your SQL coding is done. So as we say syntax, right? So this is similar to your basic commands what you're going to use it. These are the classification. So we'll see further each and every classification and we'll go with the implementation of it. Whenever we say data definition language, we'll be using create, drop, alter, and truncate. These are the different commands I'll be using for data definition language. For manipulation, we'll be using insert, update, delete. So these are the commands we'll be using here. And for data querying language, I'll be using select command. And for data control language, we'll be using grant and revoke. Grant the permission and revoke the permission. Get back the permission again. And transaction control language, we'll be using commit, rollback, and save point. Got it? These are the different types of classification. We'll go here one by one. Till this, are you clear, guys? These are different command, guys. These are different types of commands available. So these commands are classified based on the operation of it. Create, alter, drop, truncate, all those things comes in the definition of the data. If you want to define something, I can go with any one of the operation. So after this creation, if you want to do some manipulation, this is operation in a database, you'll be going with insert, update, delete. Okay. And after your database has been created, you want to fetch some information from it. In those cases, you'll be using select statement. Okay. And next is if you want to give some permission, we'll be using grant. And if you want to get back the permission, we'll be using revoke. And if you want to control the transaction flow, you want to do undo operation like this, here we'll be using rollback, a terminology called rollback for doing undo all those things. And we'll have a checkpointer and we can execute till the particular step. It's nothing but save point. If you want to save the changes, whatever has happened, that is commit. So we'll see about all those implementation directly how to do it. Okay. If at all you want, you can have a snap of this. So we are going to work only based on this mark. Based on this commands, you're going to work on it. And along with it, you're going to see with the joins, this subqueries, all those things you're going to see. So for this SQL commands, these are the basic commands which you're going to use. As we see in programming language, we'll be having variable declaration, right? Like this, we'll be having all those things as a basics. After having this basic, then we'll be moving on to joins and subqueries, which is an important point where the questions will be raised from it. Shall we proceed further? Shall we go ahead with Implementation of it. Come on. Okay. Now, as I told you, just I'm opening Workbench, guys. MySQL Workbench is the environment where I'm working with it. So if you wanted, you can install MySQL Workbench. You can install it. Once you install it, you can find out this is the environment where we can going to work on. And these are the already existing databases. Okay. So right now we people are going to create a database. The first step is, so first we can go ahead with what commands? DML commands. Okay. So you can go ahead with first with DML. So DDL commands, sorry ma. First we can go ahead with DDL commands. In case of DDL commands, we'll be coming across create, drop, alter, and truncate. These are the things you're going to see. Just a minute, let me see. Is it possible to zoom it? It's not getting zoomed. Yes, now it is fine. So these are the common commands we have seen it, right? Data definition. We'll see one by one, ma. So just I'm commenting this line here. First one is we are going to see how to create a database. So whenever I say database, one more important concept I didn't tell you guys, listen carefully. One more important concept is whenever I say database. So let us assume your database will be like this in structure. And if you want to store the information inside the structure, I need some table to be created. So since I told you that the data are stored in a table format, I need to create a table and I should store in a database, inside a database. Okay. So inside a database, the first step is I should create here. If you want to work with a database, the first step is you should create your own database. So either it is an employee database or student database or bank, whatever it is, you're supposed to create a database. Then you're supposed to create a table. The first step, if you want to work on a databases, you're supposed to create a database. Then only you're supposed to create a table and you're supposed to put inside this database. Okay. Generally, I'll name it as a database. This database is managed by the person called database management system. So which is database management system. This database management system is nothing but this MySQL, Oracle, Sybase. The particular database is called database management system. By using this database management system, we are going to manage the database. Got it. So whenever we're going to work with a database, first step is I should create my own database and then we are going to create a table inside it. So directly as soon as you open the database, you should not, as soon as you open the environment, you should not create a database. So sorry, my table. If you create first step for as a table, what happened? It will be storing as a default somewhere location where along with the default database, it will be stored. So we don't want that to happen. So whenever the first step is whenever we people are going to work with the database, have a habit of creating first database, then go ahead with the creation of table. So let me write the procedure separately. So if you want to work with the database, the first step is you're supposed to create a database as your own. Create a database. So if you create a table directly inside it, what happen? It will go to the default databases, so it will be hard for us to fetch it again. So then after this you're supposed to create a table. Why this table is required? Right now we are going to see with SQL commands. SQL commands are going to work only with the table format. So here in this particular MySQL workbench, we are going to see how to create a database and how to create a table for inside a database. First, these two procedures are mandatory to be done. And later on, you can go ahead with the whatever the operation you wanted. So right now, we people are going to see how to create a database. So the syntax for creation of database, let me have a notepad. So if I type here, it will be it will be off on erasing. So if it is notepad, it will be easy for us to recollect it. If you want also, I'll share it later. Just give me a second. I'll go to the notepad. So the first step, what you're going to see is first you're going to see with the create operation. So the first step what you're going to see is we are going under create, we are going to see how to create a database. So how to create a database. The syntax for creating a database is will be having create database followed by the database name. This is the syntax to create a database, guys. Create database, database name. So now let us go back and we'll create a database and we'll see how to create it. The first step is we came across this MySQL workbench. We are going to create a database. Create database. Can you give some name for our database? Will you people? Give me some name, guys. GVP. Okay. Good. GVP is done. So make sure that after doing this one, you're supposed to put semicolon for it. So right now, this is done. If you want to execute this, we are supposed to select it and I can execute either this one or I can execute with a single line also. It's up to us. So once the execution is done, can you find at the bottom what is showing? Create database GVP. So this database has been created and one row has been affected. So once this is done, as I told you, this part is the database part. This GVP has to be added here, right? So if I refresh this one, you can notice that GVP has been added. Okay, so under GVP database only we are going to work with right now. So this is done. After this, the next step is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to mention use this database. So this database is created. Now where you're going to work with it. So you're going to work with this particular GVP, right? So you're supposed to mention use GVP. So if I mention this one, what does it mean is I'm supposed to execute it. So what does it mean is I've created this database. Now I'm going to work inside this database, use it. So this is done. I guess you people are clear with this create database command. Now we'll move on back and we are going to see how to create a table inside a database. So first two command is done and we are going to see how to create a table. We are going to see syntax of it. So if we want to create a table, we are having specific syntax we are supposed to follow it. That is nothing but create table followed by table name. Okay. And inside this particular parenthesis, we'll be giving column name followed by data type. Data type. So you can have as many column names as you want, guys. So for example, if you're going to create some database, student database, it will have student name, mobile number like this, right? So you can have it and here you can have as many data type you want it. So as many columns you want it. So like this you can have as many columns, it's up to us. Column name 3, column name 2. So here I'm specifying some data. Could you notice it? Data type. So data type in this is in case of database, what are the data types available? Here lot of data types is available, guys. For whenever we name data type, what does it mean? It is a type of data, isn't it? It is either integer type of data or float type of data. We'll be having it, right? Here the same way we have lot of data type. Right now we can use integer, and if you want to store a character or a string, for string type you'll be using varchar. If you want to specify the size of it, we can mention 20 or 25. The size can be given like this. Okay, so right now we can use these things, and apart from this we have a lot of data types, guys, like date type is there, geographical. If you want to store geographical information, we do have the particular data type. If you want to have image to be stored, we have audio files, video files, everything is stored. We are having specific data type of it, and right now if you take complete data type, one day is not sufficient. So we are going to use with the minimal number of data type what is required, and later on if people can go through what are the data types is there. Okay, I guess everyone knows about this particular integer type, and varchar is for a string, guys. Varchar is similar to your character type. You're going to store a character type, and character type, string data is going to be stored here. Shall we proceed on? So data type, will you people go through it? Go through it once. So what are the things available? Okay, so right now we people are going to work only with the integer and string type. So keep in mind, integer we are going to make use of int, and this string type we are going to make use of varchar of size. So here this data type is required. So when if at all you are giving student name, what is the data type of it? You are supposed to mention it. So this has to be mentioned along with the each and every column. Now we'll go back and we'll see how to create a table inside a database. Already we created a database called GVP. Now we are going to create a table inside it. We'll go back. Okay, we'll be create. Harika, a lot of things are available. Go through it. When you're coming with the afternoon session, if people can ask all your doubts. Okay, first I want you to go through before coming to the afternoon session, the data types part alone. Okay, the minimal amount of data, just go through it. Okay. Okay, listen. So if you want to create a data type, we'll be mentioning table. If you want to create a table, we'll be mentioning create table followed by the table name. Give me some table name, guys. So what is the table name? What is the information all about? You're going to create a table. You're going to say information for it. What can be the table about? Student. Okay, student info, student. Okay, let me give student. So what are the information we can collect for student? Okay, roll number, student name. Okay. Shall we give yes name and let us give varchar of, let student name be, just a minute ma. Student name with the size 25. That is done. After this, what you want? You want roll number. Okay. Roll number, roll number in integer. Okay. Next, then what you want? Department. Okay. Department in varchar of some 30. What else can be? So that is sufficient, right? So if required, we can alter it later. So this is done, and after this it is going too long. Something is missing. Just a minute. This is closed, and this is closed, and this is extra. So we are having three columns. One is student name, another is roll number, another is department. These three column is there. Now let us execute it. If we execute it, you can notice at the bottom a table student is created. Now we'll go inside this JVP and we'll see what is happening. So JVP is a database. Inside is a table has been created. If you expand this table, you can notice that there is one table called student will be there. If you expand the student, you can notice that columns will be there. If you expand this column, you can notice that whatever the column we are given, student name, roll number, department, it has been added. Clear with it? Guys, you have any doubt in it? How to create it? Like this, as many column you want, you can create it. Right now, we are having only empty table. There is no value in it. There is a database, and inside the database, there is one table creator, and name of the table is student. It has these many columns. Excuse me. Yes, good. And next is we are done with the create operation. So we are done with create. So creation of database and creation of table is done by using create command. And next is drop. Drop in the sense if you want to drop one database or one particular table, I can go ahead with drop. So what happened in case of drop? Drop will read the complete database. So drop is like here shift delete. What happened in case of shift delete? If you do shift delete, what happened, ma? In your device. Complete deletion, right? Is it possible to roll back again, recover the data again? Is it possible to recover the data again? Shift delete. No, right? That's not possible. The same thing, if you give drop, the reason I'm asking is you'll come across one more name called delete. You should know the difference between it. So whenever I give drop database name, the entire database will be removed. So the database will not be available for further usage. It cannot be rolled back. Here I'll be using undo operation like rollback. Rollback in the sense it cannot be taken back again. Once dated is dated, that's all. So if you give drop database name, the complete database will be data. It cannot be taken back. The same way, if you want to drop the table also, I can give drop table name, and I can make use of the syntax. I can able to drop the database or I can able to drop the table. Whatever the drop you are doing, it cannot be revert back, cannot be taken back again. Okay, this is all about here drop statement, guys. I'm not going to work with drop statement. I'm going to move on directly to the next statement. Okay, and the next command is you're going to see is alter. So what is alter in the sense? Normally we'll say that I'm doing some alteration in home. What is alter in the sense? If you want to alter the table, what does it mean? Changes. Good. Here, this changes here is what here in case of alter, what I can do is I can add one column or I can drop one column which is not required. All those things can be done by using alter commands. So we are going to see how to implement this alter commands. So alter in the sense it doesn't mean this only adding or only dropping. So some changes we are doing it, adding, dropping, changing the database, all those things comes under your alter. We'll see one by one. First, you're going to see how to add the column. So first, I'll let you know the syntax of each and one by one, and we can so Google implementation parallelly. Okay, if at all you want to alter one column, I'll be mentioning alter table followed by the table name. Just a minute, let me give space here. Alter table followed by your table name. Which table we are going to alter it? Table name. And here what you're going to do, we are going to add some column, right? So you mention add the column name, okay, and followed by what is the data type of a column. So this is how you're going to add some column. Alter in the sense you're going to see certain operation. The first one you're going to see is how to add a column for the already created table. Where is this process? We left somewhere. Okay, let me paste it here. Okay, we'll go back. We'll see how to alter the table. So here already this table has been created and these are the fields. Now let us assume we want to add additionally email ID we forgot to get from the student. So we are supposed to add for it. How can I add it? So just be mentioning alter, just a minute, alter table. What is our table name? Our table name is student. And here what you're going to do is we people are going to add column, isn't it? So what is a column name? We can keep it. We are going to add email ID, right? So let us keep email. So what can be the data type? We can keep it a string type itself. Varchar of 30. So this is done. Now let us execute it. Fine. This data has been executed. Now if you go and open your table and if you refresh and see it, you can notice that one more column, we didn't refresh it. One more column, email is added. Is that noticeable? Email is added, right? So the structure of the table has been changed where one column has been added. Clear? So if you want to add one more column extra, I can do it. The reason is next time we are going to see with the drop column. So I can drop, mention the particular column name. Just give me a second. So let me mention some dummy column. We'll have mentioned name as dummy. So right now I'll execute it. So you can notice that this particular, what happened? Just a minute. So create command has been executed. Since I have zoomed it, so what happens since I have zoomed, it is coming like this now. Just a minute. Okay. Now it has executed. You can notice it. Command as we are run the command, so you can notice that this dummy column has been added to the structure. So once you just a minute, once you notice here, you can notice that this particular dummy is added. So right now what you're going to do is you're going to see how to alter the table by deleting one column. So this is what you're going to see. We'll go back, we'll see what is the command for it, then we can come with the implementation of it. Now we are going to see here in case of deleting, I didn't mention delete, I'm mentioning as a what is the command I'm using. We are going to use a drop column. So drop in the sense it will not, it cannot be rolled back. I told you, right? No rollback is no rollback operation is possible. So for this, what is the syntax is? We'll be having syntax like this. Instead of this add, we'll have drop column followed by the column name. No need of data type. For if you want to remove the person, why the data type is required is not required. So drop followed by the column name. That is sufficient. Okay. Now we'll go back here. Now we have created this one, right? This dummy is there, right? Let us assume I want to remove this person dummy, this column, I want to remove it. So if you want to remove it, then we'll be mentioning alter. Just a minute. So let me come down, guys. Mm. Alter table student. So you're going to drop column. Okay. What is our column name? Dummy. Execute this. Okay, done. So go back and check with your database. Often it is not required to go back and check with your database, guys. Since there is no value is there, so we can check here. If once we insert a value, we can execute by using select query. So we are done with create, drop, alter. Till this, are you clear? Do you have any doubt so far? Clear, right? Okay. Now we'll move on to the next command called insert. So I don't want to execute truncate, guys. Truncate, what happens is if you execute truncate, the complete database will be formatted. Like a format operation is truncate. So here there is nothing is there. So we are going to work with truncate. What is the Narendra? For which, yeah, data will be completely deleted in case of truncate. A empty table structure will be there. So dummy, you are saying yes. If the data is there in the particular column, it will be data. Right now, there is no data in dummy, right? So it will be the column will be removed as of now. If at all you have some table, if you have some column along, if you have some value in the particular column, the value will be removed. Right now, you can notice that in some banking, previously they used ration card as the identification number. Once Aadhaar card has came, they never take this ration card number or ration card identity proof. They started using Aadhaar card. So it might be removed. By using this drop, they'll redraw the particular column. It is not required further. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next command. So this is done. So we can't work with truncate here since there is no database. Truncate in the sense completely formatting is called truncate. And next is we are going to see with DML commands, which is very important command for manipulation. Next is DML commands. In case of DML, what are the commands I told you? You're going to see with insert, update, and delete. So these are the commands you're going to work with it. So as of now, let me command this one. So first, we are going to see with the insert command. So insert in the sense already table has been created. Now I want to insert value inside this table. How can I insert it? So first, let us see the syntax of it. By afternoon, if time permits, you can work with this, guys. It is very interesting. So there is large scope for your database administrator, database management person. Those who are managing the database, there is large scope, not only for this particular particular exam, competitive exam I'm speaking about. As a general, if you know about database, there is lot scope, and where they are paying very high for database administrator and database, whomever is managing the database. You can notice Oracle, all those things are there, right? Oracle is the biggest, we know the TCS, CTS, everything we know it. Apart from this, Oracle is the biggest concern, the way they are specifically only for the database. So database is not that much simple. We have huge scope for it. Don't take just database. That's it. Only one day we are learning it. So if you are really interested in database, update database. You have a huge scope in future. Either you maybe move for managing database also. It will be very interesting. There will be managing database, the complete database information. You people will be responsible. Okay. Listen. Next is we are going to see with the insert operation. So in case of insert, first, you should know the syntax of it, right? So table has been created. Now I want to insert value. So each and every time, normally when you submit the form, when you're filling some form, you'll be filling the data and you'll be giving submit button, right? The submit button backside will have this insert query. Backend, as a developer, they'll be developing as an insert query backend to it. Once submit is done, it'll insert the data to the concerned table. The value will be inserted. Now we are going to see what is the query behind it. Insert into table name. So this insert query can be done two way, guys. We are going to see all those two way. Insert into table name followed by column column name one, or let me mention column alone. Column one, column two, column three. So as a short form, let me mention it, and followed by here the license line is not sufficient. I'll write here, guys, followed by values. For each and every column, what is the value you're going to mention? Value 1, value 2, and followed by value 3. So like this, you can able to insert a value inside a table. This is one method. Or you can go with the other method. So instead of mentioning column name, you can mention in the order without this column name. Insert into table name followed by the values and followed by the values and followed by the value whatever you want to insert it. So what is the difference between this and this? You can notice here we are mentioning column name 1, column name 2, column name 3, right? So in the table we have created a certain order. First we have mentioned student name. First you have mentioned student name, right? Student name and followed by roll number and followed by what else we are given? Department, right? Department, then followed by email ID. Here, when I'm using this particular insert command, you can give this particular column name in any order here, and I can insert the value according to the order. There is no rule the student name should occur only first. Here, first I can give a roll number, department, email ID. Last, I can give roll number, and whatever the order I specified here, you can insert the value here. Got it? So I can mix this order, and whatever the mixed order I given accordingly I can pass a value here. But if I'm using insert into table name followed by the values, here I can't able to change the order. So whatever the table order is there, the same order I'm supposed to create a table, insert a value for a table. Got the difference between both the information, guys? Here I can miss out one column also, I can give a value for it. So if you're not giving value for one column, what happen? Null value will be replaced. Here in case of database, we'll be using null values. Okay, now we'll go with the implementation of this and we'll see how to insert a value inside a database. Now we are having a table called student, right? Now we are going to insert value inside it. So insert into table. I will see two method also, guys. Okay, insert into table name. What is our table name? Our table name is student. Insert into student table name and followed by values. So first we'll go with the second approach. So what is the first one? First is name, right? So for name, either you can use double quotes or single quotes. That's up to you. So let me use name call. Shall we use Narendra name? Name is student name is Narendra, and let us take roll number as 1, 2, 3, 4. And what is the next one? And next one is department. What is your department, Narendra? ECE triple E? Shall I give some department then? Okay, mechanical. Okay, mechanical. So email ID. So let me mention string right. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Just keep on popping somewhere. Okay. So let me give Narendra at the rate of office.com. So got it. So I'm just following the structure. Insert into table name followed by the values. Here the first column is name, student name, and next is roll number, and next is department, and next is followed by the email ID. Now this is done. Now let me execute it. You can notice that one row affected. So information is coming here. What is the row affected? Now if you want to check it whether the value is inserted or not, I can make use of select query, guys. Right now itself, I'll tell you about this DQL statement, just a basic alone. DQL data query language, we'll be using select command. So in case of select, if you want to see all the information which is inserted in a database, I can make use of select star from your table name. So if I mention like this, what happened? All the information from the table will be fetched. Select star in this all the information. I'll let you know the different implementation of the select query by afternoon. Okay. So right now let us complete this DML command. We'll go back. So right now I want to check where this information has been inserted in my table. So I can mention just a minute. I can mention select star from table name. So if I execute this, you can notice that a table is fetched. Can you people notice here? Name whatever inserted is so Narendra is display, roll number, department, and email ID. So like this, you can feed the data inside your table one by one. Okay, this is first method. Whatever I told you is first method. And the second method, if you want to insert a value by using second method, I'll show you that also. Just a minute. Okay. Now let me copy paste that. We'll go with the second approach, guys. Second approach. Let me use Pavan 1 to 5. Let me mention Sai Pavan at the rate of office.com. Pavan, shall I put which department you are from? Pavan, EC. Okay. Let me mention EC here. So here, what I told you, we are going to mention insert into table name and follow by the column names. So if you want the column name, you can specify the column name, whatever we are given. So let me mention the column names here. So this data types is not required. We can remove this data type. Here first is okay. Let me give email ID. Then let me give department. So what I made is actual structure of a table is student name, roll number. Just a minute. The actual structure is student. Just a minute, it's too big. The actual structure is student name, roll number, followed by department, and followed by the mail ID. This is the actual structure. But what we did is we modify the structure such a way student name, roll number, then followed by email ID, then followed by the department. These two I modified it. The same order what I modify, I'm passing here. If I like execute like this also, it will be working fine. But here you can't able to modify the order. Since I didn't mention any column name, I can't able to modify the order here. The previous one modification of order is not possible. But in case of second structure, you can modify the order. The reason is you are passing the column name along with it, so you can modify the order. This is the difference. Now, if I execute this, you can notice that a table with these two columns has been inserted. Clear. Like this, you can insert as many columns you want, guys. There is no rule that you should have only these many columns. You can have as many columns you want, but make sure that how many times you're going to insert, those many times you're supposed to call your insert query. So let me insert two more lines here. So let me close this person is disturbing. So we'll write two more names. We'll make use of Pooja. 6. Pooja, what is your department? Triple E. Okay. Triple E. And one more name. We'll use Harika name. Harika. Harika, your department, Harika? EC. Okay. Okay. So right now you can notice that I'm having two commands. Is that possible to execute two commands all together? Yes, we can select these two commands. Okay. And we can execute all together. That's possible. So now if you execute it, you can notice that a table with these student name will be displayed. So this is all about your insert command, guys. I can create a table right now. You can notice that we have a table and we have a database. Inside the database, we have seen how to create a table and we have seen how to inside a value inside a table. Till this, are you people clear? Do you have any doubt on it? You can execute these queries in your online editor also. Are you people clear till this, ma? How to create a table and database? Do you have any doubt in it? This one, Harika, this select. Are you asking about this line 20? Okay. Here, if I want to see whether the values are in table, as I told you, you can notice here. So we're having certain types of commands, right? These things comes under these are. So this create, alter, all those things is DDL commands. We have seen create, alter, drop, truncate. So this insert comes under DML commands, data manipulation commands. Okay. And the same way, data querying language. We have seen this table structure, DQL, select statement. So whenever I mention select, here I'm mentioning select star from table. So what does it mean is all the information from a table will be fetched. Yes, Hemant, if you have 10 columns, 10 column has to be specified here. As many values, as many columns is there, you're supposed to pass multiple inputs in a parameter. That is required. Okay. Harika, just a minute, I'll give you example. So I'll mention this select statement. Here there is a database and table is there, right? So from this table, if you want all the information, I'll give star. So I don't want all the information. I want only student name alone. I'll give select student name from student. So let me execute these two commands. The first command given is where select star from student, where all the information from the table has been fetched. Can you notice it here? So second statement, what I given, select student name from students. So what happened at the second result, you can notice that only student name, Narendra, Pavan, Pooja, Harika name has been displayed. So based on the information what I'm requesting for, it will be displaying. Now is that clear? Select command is used for fetching the value from the database. Database has stored the value. If you want one particular information, I'm going to fetch it. Okay, good. Okay, guys, if time permits, just go through these commands. And if you want, you can make use of online compiler to work with it. By afternoon, try to see what are the databases is there. By afternoon, we'll be seeing something interesting. We have seen how to create single table, right? By afternoon, we'll see how to merge two table, how to fetch the value from multiple table, how people are working in the real time real world implementation. We are going to see all those things. So your questions will be from your joins, subqueries, all those things. I'll teach you how to implement practically itself. Instead of just learning as a query, as a theoretical part is not going to help you in future. So I'm going to teach you people how to do practically.